Kia ora, g'day, welcome back once again here, this time with again a requested reaction to Behind the Lines. This is about the Mountain Leaders course, or the Mountain Arctic Warfare Cadre, I think it is. So I think it's a 7-part series as well. A few people have asked me if I wouldn't mind doing a reaction to this. It looks like it was done quite a few years ago, more than a decade ago, having a look at the first little bits and pieces of this video footage. So yeah, if you're here for this, let's jump in.
It must be conceded that
What a beast guy.
Captain John Lear's arrival at his office is hardly an exercise in stealth. Since the Russians monitor all these military documentaries, they might as well know from the outset that he commands the training of the Mountain and Arctic Warfare Cadre and does not like desk work. Equally, Sergeant Mac McLean's arrival, like some spin-off from the Tour de France, is evidence of the unit's informality rather than some gullible disguise. He hates desk work also. The head...
Crack up. It's good to hear they both hate desk work, but I'm just laughing. Maybe that's a barracks or something, or a compound where they are just looking at him leaving his push bike there. I wouldn't risk doing that in New Zealand, bro. Leave your bike lying around. Maybe in the compound in the barracks probably be fine. But yeah, otherwise that'd be a no-no.
Headquarters in Plymouth is immediately opposite the intelligence section. Here too there appears to be an expedient solution to the tedium of paperwork.
All the stores are issued. They're ready to go. The coach is ordered for 0830.
Okay.
Shove it down there.
The casualness, even eccentricity of it, should not dispose you to believe that what you will see in these programs...
The casualness, even the eccentricity of it. Holy heck, I don't even know what eccentricity means.
...programs is some kind of situation comedy in khaki. They're planning the examination and possible recruitment of 25 men to an elite corps.
Oh, let's look forward to a good 4 weeks, good weather. And stacks of Joyce's Oggies, eh?
Stacks of Joyce's Oggies, yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Looking at those just reminds me of that TV show that my grandparents and even my mum to a degree used to watch, Coronation Street. Except those are all, I remember, all being red brick buildings when I was growing up.
Their initiation starts here, in a village near Land's End. For some, swiftly, it will also be Journey's End. The standards are quite uncompromising, and there will be many days and nights when this command post, in retrospect, will seem like Claridge's.
Interesting. Okay, that's where they begin, and maybe a quick ending for some of them. So why has this come about? There've been a few people, and I've heard Jay Cal talk about this on his interview on the Sean Ryan show, but there's been a few people even in the comments. Sorry, I can't remember those who also suggested this series for me to react to, and also thankful for those that have put in the comments. But there's been comments in and around that the Mountain and Arctic Warfare Cadre, or CARD, or Mountain Leaders course, is harder than the UK SF selection. That's I don't know. That's been the comments that have been shared with me. I think Jay Cal may have even said that himself as well, so that he's said that it's harder and that it's longer. But what, if I remember rightly, what I think I remember Jay Cal saying was that it has a even though it's longer and harder, it has a higher success rate, higher pass rate, due to, and I might be getting this wrong, but I think, again, based on what I heard Jay Cal say, based on the fact that it's a course at the end of the day, and they actually want those that get onto the course, they actually want them to pass. So the instructors are, trying to help the students meet the requirements and get through everything that they need to get through. Whereas UKSF selection is none of that. There'll be elements here where they're teaching you the skills and the things that they expect you to be able to pick up and learn, like jungle phase, counterterrorism stuff, etc., parachuting, etc. But the crux of it, by and large, for the most part, and same with NZ selection and Australian selection, you're not being coached or encouraged or counselled or given extra instruction to help you get through it. So I think those were probably the main differences that I think I heard Jay speak about. So anyway, Mountain Leaders is longer and harder, but it has a higher success rate, and due to the instructors actually trying to help the candidates or students get through the course. So I'm looking forward to this.
Thompson, no mail for you today. Thanks, John. Yeah, mate. Let me give you these.
Some of those push-ups, these ones look good, but the ones just before looked a bit humbug.
The thing, obviously, it's not for being bitchy or anything like that. Just to build up your strength. Make a joke about it, because it needs to be, because you do so many, it's no good being miserable and laugh every time you do it. Okay? For the slightest little thing, I'll make you do press-ups. And do them with you, obviously. You can make me, if you ever catch me with my hands in my pockets, you can give me press-ups. 20 for catching me. That gives me to get you 40. Okay.
The perennial punishment for offences actual or invented is the press-up. It causes no resentment. All are volunteers, men and officers from every branch of the Royal Marines, from the Special Boat Squadron, the Dutch Marines, and from the Australian SAS.
Oh, that, and from the Australian SAS. Now, this reminds me, actually, I can't remember who, sorry. I think somebody put in a comment that about the Mountain Leaders being longer and harder, and that there was an Australian SAS guy on the course who got kicked off or something, or who quit or something like that. He didn't say when. I can't remember the conversation exactly, and I can't even remember which video it was on where the comment was put in the thread. But I thought, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, looking at the Sandy Beret there, I wonder if he's the only. I heard them say this person from SBS. And obviously Australian SASR. I wonder if this is the. I wonder if there's just one or a couple. I wonder if there's any Kiwis that were on this.
All rank among the candidates is suspended. In the eyes of God and Sergeant McLean, all applicants are equal.
Okay, we'll scoot round the lads' corporal bit. You're all corporals. No need to bother with it. Just say corporal or whatever. We'll scoot round the corporal, lance corporal, acting lieutenant. Okay.
If it's not how the Brigade of Guards would carry on, it's because the sole function of these men is to fight in pitiless terrain in appallingly low temperatures.
Here's the next climbing area. Is it? Aldrin Cove. 20 press-ups for hesitating. What was it?
Sequence up.
That's right. He should have known it, shouldn't he? I mean, he's been thinking about it all weekend.
Both these men, as did 21 of the 22 British candidates, saw action in the Falklands. While here that experience now counts for nothing, there are certainly no rules about them being opinionated.
There are times, not just, I won't just say places like Northern Ireland and the Falkland Islands, when you are dealing with people's lives. Probably more so in this qualification we're going for now, the ML's course. You make the wrong decision and people can and will die. And I think that doesn't come across to the average man in the street. He thinks a serviceman is someone who, as Digger said, has got all the creature comforts. Every now and again he goes and does his bit. And most of the time he's a drunken lout who makes the most of the time he's got off, basically. and is generally not a nice person to know. It's just not true. Everybody has the part to play. It's a classic example. 1 minute you can be the most obnoxious bunch of cretins on God's earth, and then an incident somewhere in the world blows up. You have to go to and sort out, and you become hand slapping, back slapping, thigh slapping, the best bunch of kiddies we could ever have. Well done, boys. You know, you've done your bit once again. We're proud to be British and all that. It rankles a bit sometimes.
Yeah. When you come back, you become the brutal and licentious.
Well, that's right. Within weeks of coming back from Northern Ireland or the Falklands or anywhere, all it takes is one small incident in a garrison town, such as Plymouth, Arbroath, Aldershot, anywhere. And once again, you're wrecking bars and pinching cars and punishing civilians and God knows what. The British public are great people, but they have got hellish short memories.
Man, this is cool. Clearly, a bunch of experienced soldiers on this course, which is cool. And then I think I heard the commentator or the narrator, or maybe it's the person doing the interview, talking about that they have opinions. Good, and so they should, especially based on the operational experience and life experience that these guys have. Interesting hearing him speak about that. I'd say it's probably the same no matter where you are in terms of perceptions, or some people's perceptions of soldiers in general.
Your mascot. Well, you've had a lot of bad luck with mascots, and it started off, if I remember correctly, in the selection course, where I gave you a snoot, in actual fact was a salamander, and it mysteriously disappeared or died. I've yet to find out what happened to it. Although when the course finished, it was perfectly okay. But then when we got back down here in September, it had died. That was the newt. Then I gave you a frog, which didn't even have a name, because you only had it 2 hours, and that died. Then we had a black beetle, which I do believe last Saturday someone ate.
Is he talking? He's talking about a mascot, eh? Like giving them a mascot, and I think he's rattling through the things that he gave them: a newt, a frog, and whatever he's up to right now. A beetle, I think he said, and all these things have died by the sounds of things. Or I think he said somebody ate the beetle. Surely not.
Remember that you should have a mascot. So what I've done, at great expense, is got you a peregrine falcon. The reason I've got this type of bird is because it needs to be tough, because all the mascots in the past have died under your care. But this one, being a fighting bird, will not die. Right, lads. A peregrine falcon. Steady.
Training manual.
Like, there's a training manual here for it. I want to see it sort of bringing down meat off the hoof within a week. Okay. Who's Jewish student? Obviously, it's the mating call of the falcon, so watch out, boys. Who's Jewish?
Just observing, listening, and watching this. The smiles on their faces, I guess he's the head instructor, senior instructor's demeanor and his communication to these students. It's cool. It's cool to see. But also, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, there's no way anything like this is happening on a selection. Well, not in NZ or Australia anyway. You are not having these types of interactions or this much smiling or anything going on. I don't recall. I struggle to remember any smiling that was happening during selection, and even few and far between again on cycle. Definitely not with the instructors, or very limited times during cycle where there would have been probably some banter or laughter. You just felt like you were walking on eggshells the whole time, or standing on eggshells.
Right, Corporal Kostelik, it's all yours. Remember, you need the glove. Be careful. because you need your fingers and that for climbing. I don't want it seen off. And it needs a name by 12 o'clock. I like the course. Are you happy with it? Hey? Oh, yeah, you got to look at the
By the left, there's a right Pongo Express and that is. 6 order is put marks and then by the left if you're going to left wheel, by the right if you're going to right wheel. By the right because the right hand wheel's the front rank.
What brand of men are they? Here's the head of training for the Marine Special Forces, Major General Julian Thompson.
I think the SAS operator was at the end, but I couldn't make out his face.
Well, I would think he's actually rather a special sort of chap. He may actually be not the sort of fellow who's standing in the...
What I would think he is quite actually a special sort of chap, or the sort of fellow cracker. This makes me think of Big Phil Campion and Mel Downs taking the piss out of the officers and how they talk.
front rank looking terribly smart, who catches everybody's eye. I think he's got to be, and I've always described it as rather like a badger, really, to have this ability to, almost like an animal, and I don't mean it in any derogatory sense, suborn his personal feelings of discomfort and take no notice of them and almost sort of switch off the feeling of discomfort. At the same time, not switch off his other senses so that he's sort of dozing away and doesn't notice what's going on. And he must also be an absolutely first-class Marine soldier.
No, I'm just giggling away to myself at the way he speaks. Look at these lads, lean as, eh? Lean, fits. I love listening to that cadence and that rhythm with the double march.
Right, when I say go, when I see the last man doing the transport, stand by, go! Right leg, catch up and rear! All the way down! Got it, catch up!
By definition, the mountain and Arctic warfare cadre doesn't attract too many vertigo sufferers, but even so, 23 of the 25 have never climbed before. Their testing ground is here, the jagged promontories of Land's End.
I was thinking, wow, because when he said 23 of the 25 have never climbed before, because I was assuming that they might select people that have climbed before, or that candidates applying may have climbed before, so hence why they may want to do the course. But that's, 23 of the 25 haven't climbed. That's cool.
These may be mere nursery slopes compared with what lies ahead, but they still face an initiation test calculated to sort out the likes of you and me from the likes of them.
Okay, what we're going to do this afternoon now is the thing that you've all been psyched up for all week is the Land's End long jump. And really there is nothing to it, nothing to get exaggerated about. We used to do it as part of the cliff top run. We used to run down from Logan's Rock, right round here in running kit, just the first bloke across jumped it and everybody follow the leader. If you do, by some chance, miss, Sergeant Brown will catch you, that's what he's there for. Because there's a strong wind blowing, don't think that you've got to jump to the right to compensate for the strong wind. Just get down there and jump across. Well, I'm just going to do a quick demonstration now. To prove how confident I am, I won't use any harness. All right.
That is awesome. So I don't know how far the gap is. I guess we're going to see soon. But is obviously one of the mountain leaders, one of the operators within that part of the unit, and giving them a brief, and he's going to demonstrate it. I like what the commentator or whoever the people are from the BBC doing this documentary saying, to sort out the likes of, us from them, or you and I from them, sort of thing. Cool. Anyway,
just to show you how easy it is, but for you, because you're students, you'll be roped on. Okay. This is the start from this.
Makes sense from a safety perspective, roping in the students. Looking at this, health and safety people would be having a heart attack. They're like, no, you can't do this. How do we work around this? But man, thank you to those that sent this through as the suggestion to watch this documentary in this series.
Stand on here, get your bottle in your hand, you're right in your mouth, and just take a flying leap out. And that's all there is to it. Aim to get your feet on about this pancake here. And you'll get on it quite easily. Alright, any questions?
Makes it look nice and easy, eh? I'm sure it's... I still can't gauge how far that is. It doesn't look far when I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, no, that's not too bad. But I would imagine it's everything else. The drop down, looking at however far down to the water it goes, or onto rocks maybe down the bottom. The wind that he spoke about, and just the no run up, just standing and then launching yourself from there.
How long you be laid here? Take coils in your hand. No, good positive movement when you go.
When are you ready?
Smaller coils than that.
Aye.
Go on, don't hang about. The longer you hang about, the harder it'll be. As soon as you're ready, just go. Go on, go for it.
Go for it. Give it a go.
Go on.
Geez, that camera angle gives a great view and perspective. That puts it more into perspective, a little bit more for me anyway when I'm looking at that. It looked like it didn't look as far as that looks, looking at it from this angle when the instructor was giving the briefing and then gave the demonstration. Looking at it from this angle and thinking, oh, no wonder.
The deal is brutally frank. It is to establish nerve. They either leap the gap 270 feet above the rocks, or their new career stops right here.
That's cool footage, that one. 270-foot drop. You either make this jump or you finish right there and then. Makes sense. Not much point, I suppose, carrying on if you're not willing to do this part, because I'm assuming because of the heights and the tasks that they'll likely be expected to perform and do at various heights. Awesome. Looks like he's falling on top of the directing staff member there, unless he's pulling him onto him.
Phase 2 is the first encounter with a rock face. Many of these men are experienced parachutists, but the challenge here is entirely different.
I remember sort of getting halfway and freezing. I was thinking, what am I doing here? And I reached for this hold, and I felt myself starting to go. And I just managed to get it. And I vowed there and then, once I got to the top, that I would never sleep on a top bunk again.
Like anybody else, they still get frightened up there on the rock, and you talk to some of the more experienced MLs and they'll tell you they still sometimes get frightened themselves.
What an awesome looking environment, place that they have for doing this training. I wonder if it's still in the same place to this day. I'm presuming so. But looks awesome.
What do you think of the climbing? Do you have any problems?
Yeah. I fell off the demo route first time.
You fell off the demonstration route you were doing?
Yes,
not the demo route. That's something different which will fall off at a later stage. What have you done this morning so far?
I had the top hat over there.
Okay, what do you think of that?
It was quite difficult on the actual overhang.
How do you feel about it? You shit yourself? Oh. Okay, good. Well, I'll be talking to you some other time as well. I guarantee I'll be watching you a lot.
Okay.
Alright?
In fact, little more watching was necessary. There's no stigma about being returned to your unit for attempting what few sane people would have attempted in the first place. The man failed honourably because he couldn't handle the challenge of a vertical rock face. He wasn't alone in that.
Basically, because we're climbing the day at Besigren, and I felt uneasy all the climbs, the 2 climbs that I did at Besigren. I didn't feel at all at ease on them. And we did Commando Ridge, and I started to get a bit terrified in Commando Ridge. And I thought about it at night, and I thought, well, the climbing wasn't for me, and I didn't want to do it. So I come up, I seen Sam McLean in the morning, and asked to be removed off the course.
Wow. Full credit to him, man. Full credit to anybody that's, like I've said with regards to selection, UKSF or otherwise, NZ Australia, anybody that puts their hand up and actually turns up and gives themselves a chance or goes on to, whether it's an SF selection, whether it's this mountain leaders course or whatever challenge it is, nothing but respect for those people, man. It's that's a big call, and it's a, you know, you go in there with a lot of uncertainty about yourself, about the whole thing in general, and you're not sure, but you give it a crack anyway. That deserves respect, in my opinion, anyway. So for these 2 guys, the other guy that was honest and said he crapped himself, you know, on that overhang. I didn't see it, but I can only imagine. And then this guy talking openly and honestly about how he was feeling during the day, thinking about, heck, I'm going to have to do this at night. Yeah, massive respect to these guys, and then just being honest with themselves and honest with the unit and the leaders and stuff there, and then going and seeing them. I'm sure they're treated based on those interactions that I've seen where the guys are standing in 3 ranks and he's talking about the mascot and dishing out push-ups and stuff, and people are smiling and things like that. It clearly seems to be an adult learning environment, in the sense that the people aren't afraid to smile or have a laugh, and the instructors seem to have a nice way about them in terms of still strict, still disciplined, and still high expectations, but able to, just have a bit of a lighter-hearted approach or take towards the students, and treating them like adults, like mature soldiers and experienced soldiers, which they are from what I heard at the start anyway, the majority having served in Northern Ireland and other deployments. So yeah, this is cool. Thanks again. I'm going to pause this one here, wrap this one up, and I'll come back and hopefully get through the second half on the next round. And I'm not sure if all 7 of these videos are about the 30-minute mark, but we'll see how we go, and look to get through them in 2 bites per episode. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for your time and for your support. Once again, much appreciated. And excuse me, as always, the message is the same. Regardless of your challenges, difficulties, trials that you may be going through, I encourage you to just keep turning up, keep staying in the fight, put one foot in front of the other, take one day at a time. Know that the sun will shine again. Things can do and will get better if you want them to. So as always, go always a little further. Remember, who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, there's a big mana wave coming from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation and gratitude for you all.